Okay. Am I live? Can people see it? Let me know. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Let me know if the music's too loud. I'm just gonna keep this in the background as we talk, cause I kind of like the vibe of DJ Okawari. He's kind of like Nujabes who didn't die. Oh gosh, that's not a nice thing to say. Oh my god. Oh, okay. So to my point, Queen's dead. Yes, sir. Packwatch. Yes, sir. She's gone. Lizzie's dead. Lizzie's in a box. Lizzie's in a box. The Queen's dead. Toes to her head. All in a casket. Brains in a basket. I'm so happy. My emotions can't mask it. Okay, I didn't know that this was gonna have lyrics in it. Oh my god, I hate the ones with lyrics in them. Like, just play a beat, Negro. God damn it. Actually, fuck it. I'm gonna play like. Give me a second. Anyway. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so where was I earlier? Yes, talking about non-uniform, the way anime is distributed, and I think someone came with a really good point before the fucking stream got shut down the last time. Right? I think someone came with a very good point, and the point I would say I think it was someone with a Swahili name. Don't necessarily know what the name was. They're probably still watching, but it was like the way anime is now. It's a lot more difficult to really form a connection with shows because we treat it as more disposable, and that's just a byproduct of the binge culture. It's a byproduct of us just having it all and yamming it and then dumping it. That's what's gonna happen to this shit if that's really just the way shit rolls. So now you've got like JoJo, and this is the beautiful thing about capitalism, because the only time the things like culture intangibles, right? The only time stuff like that matters to the fans, or stuff that actually matters to culture. When I say culture, I mean the things about a thing that have nothing to do with making money. Yeah, some of it generates money, yes, but the aspects of a world of like a person's world that doesn't have anything to do with like creating revenue. And the sad part is a lot of that stuff, what I'm talking about, ends up wheeling. Why don't you upload anymore? You used to make awesome content. Oh my god, are people asking me that question? Ask yourself. Okay. Listen to how I talk on my streams. Listen to how I've been treated by a lot of people in the anime community. Think back to a lot of the ways my stuff was received in the anime community, and then ask that question again. Okay? Like, yeah, I could easily, I can still make it my full-time career. I still at some point might, but the thing is, it's, now I can do it. Really, now would be a better time to do it than ever, because God willing, there's finally more people like me, not making content like this. Oh, people treated me like shit the entire time I was here, but don't like worry about that. The only people who ever have had my back in this community are Holden, Digi, Giguk, sometimes, and like the people who've had my back in the community, you don't know, right? I'm talking folks from like the old school, like Bushido Spirit, you know, like I'm talking folks from like the underground, like fucking Endless Jess, right? Like maybe Demo's had my back, you know, Demolition D, but he doesn't fucking upload anymore, right? He's another dude like me who fucking quit, except he quit at a much higher place, meaning he got to bow out much more comfortably than I did. He doesn't have to come back here every now and then and try and like make something happen. He can just drop a video once every 7 years and not give a fuck about any of you. Like me, I'm stuck writing fucking content that I don't even know if I'm gonna put out. I've always loved your content. I never knew you had bad reviews. I don't have bad reviews. People always no. Don't get it twisted. No. I get bad reviews as a person. My content never gets bad reviews. I already know that. Like the content like is golden. I consistently make some of the best videos. Okay. For the purposes of old school YouTube, or Philip DeMarco tried to cancel Jimmy. Don't bring that shit up, bro. Please. Don't bring that shit up. My fucking God. If I ever meet Meg Turney or Philip DeFranco at my big age of 27 going on 28 years old, at this age now, almost 10 years removed from that video I dropped, I honestly can tell you I will apologize, because it was unacceptable of me to say those things. And it well, how can I put this? Because I'm getting war flashbacks now as to what that video was about. I'm getting war flashbacks now as to why I made that video. And it's like, yeah, I wouldn't make that video now, right? I would never make that video now. That video has the specific kind of energy that a very up himself 19-year-old otaku would make. The specific, like, dangerously virgin energy that a 19-year-old like anime boy would make. Like, oh my fucking God, I hated how I used to make content, bro. I had no drip, no swag. Oh gosh. Now honestly, like, I'm working. I know I say this every time I make a stream, right? And this should really communicate to you how bad some of this mental health shit has gotten for me. Because I've been working on a video, this one Orientalism video, for going on almost a year and a half now. And it's not because the video is going to be like 3 hours long. No. It's probably going to end up being like 40-something minutes. But the main... I learned about you from the Amino app YouTube days. Was recommended to watch you and Jitaku. Oh my God. Jesus fucking Christ. You are ancient. The only people who really fuck with me are people from like a long time ago. Cringe shit from a 19-year-old dude. Who would have thought that? Yeah, man. Jesus fucking Christ. Who would have? LOL. But nah, though. Like, now I'm in a much, as far as like, okay, as far as a content creator, I'm a much sharper person than I've ever been. Like, I can't say that like I know everything. I only know what I know. But the stuff I know has vastly expanded in scope. And really, all I can say is a lot of the things that was when I was also a cringe, yeah. A lot of the things that have like pushed me to be a lot more quiet online have to do with my changing relationship to otaku culture and anime, and my changing relationship to my own understanding of how Jimmy wasn't trying to be another Draconis munch. Yeah. Like, my changing relationship to the creation, to the creator side of the thing. Like, really trying to get a series made has changed my perspective on a lot of things in anime and a lot of things in the industry. Mainly because I had no idea that the anime industry right now was so... Don't get it twisted. The voice actors are Japanese. The TV the animation studios are Japanese. A lot of the animation talent's Japanese, but brother, the money is Western. Oh my fucking god. You peel back any of the curtain. The veins of Japanese media right now are being pumped full of Chinese and Western, like specifically American investment. Like that's really where so as far as like anime, there are two split paths that the medium is taking, right? And in my opinion, these can be typified in two different shows that are airing this season. The two paths that lie before anime are Licorice Recoil and Buchigire. You're wondering, what the fuck is he saying? Fuck does he mean? The fuck is he talking about? You're wondering what crack I might be on. I just need to... Maybe Licorice Recoil isn't the... No, never mind. No, I was right. Gee, wait. You're joking. Oh god. Yeah. This definitely. So, you've got two split halves, right? Of where anime is going. Actually, no. Licorice Recoil is actually less of a mark of where anime is going. That's kind of... Licorice Recoil is a mark of where anime has been. Let me think of a show that... Let me go on the fucking... like the chart and see a show that... Just give me 1 second so I can make a slightly better adjust. No. What am I doing? And even... Blammo. Alright, so... Two shows that typify where anime is going. You got Spy X Family, LOL, and you got Buchigire. Calm. So, Spy X Family. That show, like, Japan loves it. Yeah, duh. It's a Japanese manga. It was a really popular manga, right? Super popular. But, or actually, no. Cause I said that airing in the same season, and you know what? Spy X Family didn't air in the same season. There's another anime that actually I have to use a lot less like legwork to explain this about. Fucking RWBY, Ice Queendom, and Buchigire. I keep using that one. Like, notice how the first example keeps changing, but the second example has stayed stagnant. I'll get to why that is in just a moment. But RWBY, in fact, all three of those shows in a lot of ways literally are what I'm talking about, but three branches of the first half, while the second half is kind of a stagnant thing. So the three branches of the first half, you've got Licorice Recoil. So Licorice Recoil is basically, that's where anime's been. So it's a good old-fashioned A1 Pictures cute girls doing action show. It's an original, I think. It's either an original or it was pulled from a source material that doesn't have much out. Oh, I'm glad he's still alive. I haven't seen it yet either. Licorice, Goat Coil. Haven't seen any episodes yet, but lesbians, LOL. Licorice Recoil, the Western Path. So Licorice Recoil is one version of the Western Path. It's one of the places where Western money is going, right? And then you got something like Spy X Family, which is the more obvious version of the Western Path, right? Licorice Recoil is an anime original that really just happened to bang with online nerds. Spy X Family is a manga adaptation that is designed to crack with the... Well, it wasn't designed to, but has somehow found... Because the person who wrote it decided to come from a different influence point than just regular shonen, it's designed in a way that really cracks through that that veneer of it cracks through the bebop crack, you know what I mean? Where it's like it goes further and beyond what Japan expected it to do and becomes a super smash hit in the West because it embraces Western iconography. That's, you know, those are two old, in a way, those are two old school paths for anime to be westernized. Then you got RWBY Ice Queendom. You got RWBY fucking Ice Queendom, and literally, I don't even need to say anything about it. You don't even need to hear me say anything about it. You don't need to hear me say anything about it. You already know what I'm gonna say. It's not bad. It's not a bad anime. No, of course, Shaft is incapable of making a bad anime. Even their worst anime are immensely watchable, like Makaku City Actors and fucking like Sasamiak Gambaranai, like all of that stuff, immensely watchable, but it's still bad. Ice Queendom, it's because Shaft is no longer an auteur studio, because Shaft like keeps all of its Shimbo-isms in the movie area now. Like they've kind of like, Shaft lost a bunch of money and they were like almost about to like crash, so they decided, okay, we're not gonna be we're not gonna, like after you can notice this right after the transition from like Fate Extra into Three Gatsu no Lion, they kind of like dumped all of the like Shaft-isms and are kind of going for more of a toned down Shaft style show. They still do all of the old school Shaftisms, but they don't do none of the weird background shit that Shimbo used to mediate. They don't do none of the weird like hanging in space. Wait, what? It's Shaft? Love Monogatari series. Yeah, no. Oh, sorry, because I realized there's some people who aren't like fucking absolute like lifeless otaku here. Oh my god, Studio Shaft, as in one of the most legendary studios in the history of modern Japanese animation, is saddled with doing a literal fucking RWBY anime. And unfortunately, I don't even get to make the annoyed face at calling RWBY an anime, because damn it, the meme has come full circle. RWBY went from an annoying, shitty looking CG show that people forced to like, they like the marketing team at Rooster Teeth was dying. They were throwing lances of Longinus into our mouths to make us call that shit an anime, bro. Like they were flowing to the heavens to make sure that we classified it like the right way. And obviously people like me were like, no, it's not an anime. Western stuff that looks like anime doesn't even have to be called anime, blah blah blah. All of that extra. But guess what ends up happening? The shit's able to stick around for 6 seasons. I don't know how. No idea in the world. I am convinced that Rooster Teeth's and like animation department outside of Red versus Blue is a money laundering scheme for like Texas drug dealers. I'm convinced that outside of Red versus Blue, the entire animation division of Rooster Teeth is a money laundering system, because who the fuck, my guy, is watching RWBY? Tell me, who do you know? And I know a lot of kids. I know a lot, like, no, not to make it weird. I know a lot of people who are young and like that kind of weird, stupid, like, shitty, what you been up to, Playboy? Just chilling, bro. But, like, I know a lot of people who are young and like that kind of, like, weird, crappy humor type, fan-made content level type shit. That's what RWBY feels like. It caters too much to white girls for me to enjoy it. Does it even have it has a manga. Oh, my God, I think it just clicked with me as to how it has fans. It's white girls. It's little white Fujo girls who like it. It's the weird fanfic writing girls who like wear poofy sweaters and have a bunch of acne and like, Jesus Christ. It's those bitches. Those are the ones who be watching RWBY. Oh my God. Like, Jesus Christ. And you know all the fans of RWBY are racist, bro. You know for a fact. Cause ain't no niggas in that shit. Ain't no black people in RWBY. It's crazy. Oh God, don't get me started. And you know what? Yeah, no. Unlike when I talk about anime and I do the whole, you can't do the whole, there's no black people in that. You can't do that because it's homogenous. No. When it's RWBY, fuck off. You people grew up in Indiana. You people grew up in Texas. Like RWBY is animated by black people. Yeah, you like the original RWBY is animated by black people. Oh my fucking God. How are there no black people in RWBY? And I know someone's going to be like, oh, there's this black character. But like, why is one of the 5 main ones not black? Or why are all of the 5 main ones all pale as the driven snow? And that's not me casting aspersions at Monty Ohm, because, like, you know, Monty Ohm's Asian, and he wanted to make a series as he wanted to see it. But in the 6 years that the series has gone on, we've only seen more of that. We haven't really seen a real diverse cast. And as much as people want to, like, paint everyone, like, that's, yo, now that I think about it, yeah, how have we allowed RWBY to cook with being as, like, white as it is? Like, no, I'm just saying, like, I picked a random place, but, like, yeah, there's black people, like, yeah, I'm saying the people who make Ice Queendom grew up with less black people around them than the niggas who made the source material. So why the fuck is the source material so, like, traditionally anime white? You know, like, that's what I'm saying. Oh my god, you know what? Yeah, another thing is, I've been coming to the conclusion that I might need to make a response video to myself about the anime characters aren't white. Cause, like, low key, I've come to a conclusion that many longtime fans of mine won't like. It's Tootie catching strays. I don't even mean it that way, bro. I don't even, like, I'm just saying. But, like, sorry if I'm, like, doing the ADHD thing where I change topics again, but this is just because I'm kind of talking about future content. But, like, that video where I was like, anime characters aren't white, my main point that I was making, and the thing about that video that I always use as my cop out was that I make a clear point in the video that I'm not here to talk about whatever racial issues Japan does or doesn't have. And I know when I said that, people were gonna, like, overlook it and think, you know, and like ignore the other points I was making. But the clear point I was making then is that despite anime looking mostly like white people, the way it's designed is from a perspective of neutrality and from statelessness, from removal of, like, our traditional conception of being from a place, right? Or having a look that denotes being from a place. But one of the reasons that one of the reasons why in many other years I didn't, like, make a sequel to that video or, like, follow up on that video, even though it was an extremely popular one, was because I ended up disagreeing with it fairly quickly. And my main disagreement with it, and this ties into the thing I was talking about earlier. My main disagreement with that point that I made, you know, that Mukokuseki as a concept means that anime characters can't, like, unless they're explicitly stated to be white, can't necessarily be called white. And that point, if we're just talking about the text, if all we're talking about is the text on a textual basis, like, what is the author telling us about these characters, right? Like, what does the writer think of these characters? Like, are they white, etc.? That point stands in that context. But in the context of how made the Shaman King reboot was, we'll get to Buchigire, and we'll also get back to how Ice Queendom and all this stuff fits into what I'm talking about. In the concept of how anime exists now, Mukokuseki, because Buchigire did something with Mukokuseki that has kind of blown my mind, because it's kind of it's still Mukokuseki, but I'll explain what I mean by that. If we're really being stateless, if we're really portraying a world where no one's skin tone matters, why is the majority still pale? See, that's that there. And the answer to that is because the people making it are pale, obviously. Like, the people who have the people making it are pale, people who have the strength, who have the institutional backing to produce it are pale, usually. The people who are writing it are pale. The people who are consuming it, for the most part, in its native country and outside of its native country, is pale. Can someone tell who Ice Queendom is? I don't know what the fucking Ice Queen. I thought I thought only one of them used ice. I thought, like, so isn't that weird that they're, like, putting Weiss as, like, the main character? Like, they're really portraying her as, like, one of the main one. I don't get it. I've never liked RWBY. I've always thought it was a stupid, really shitty series. But it's got a fucking anime by one of the greatest studios now, so I have to care. Regardless, like, bro, do you know how annoying the concept of RWBY Ice Queendom is to someone like me in specific? Like, in specific, me. Someone who is in love with Studio Shaft and Shinbo and the history of that studio, but deeply despises, like, the fanfic nature of Rooster Teeth animation. Like, I am completely uninterested in watching a Shaft anime this season. Can you imagine? Nino's not interested in a Shaft anime. LOL. What's next? Trigger making me not give a fuck about that thing? Thank goodness. Well, so before I get to Buchigire, what I'm talking about is a concept called boutique anime. And I want you lot to write to, all you fucking, this is the part where people are going to start copying me, because if I don't make the video soon, like, folks are going to do it first. Boutique anime is, you know how, like, TV has, like, regular TV and prestige TV, right? Well, anime going mainstream has kind of allowed that process to happen with anime itself. See, because the thing is, I can just say a show, like, I can literally just say a fucking show, and immediately you know whether or not it's boutique, right? That's the key difference that we're talking about here. Be the Beginning, boutique anime. Star Wars Visions, boutique anime. RWBY Ice Queendom, right? And it's not just that it's high quality animation. That's a part of it. Like, that's undeniably a part of it. But it's high quality. It's what the high you always I have to be so clear with this, because this is where stuff is looking pretty fire. Yeah, like, that's the best. That's gonna be the best boutique of the year. Like, I have to be so clear with what I'm saying, because this is the part that can get so easily misunderstood. Western money being in the anime and the anime looking good does not make it boutique, right? Right? Like, there's Western producers on High School of the what's it called, of the Elite. There's Western producers on that. There's Western producers on Danmachi, right? But what's it called? There's fucking Western producers on, what's that show again? On fucking Biscuit Hammer. Like, some kids who are putting stuff into that. Like, but none of those are particularly boutique anime, right? Okay, so let's use the Cyberpunk show as an example, because Cyberpunk Edgerunners is kind of like the boutique to end all boutiques, in my opinion. Like, and I want, before we continue, I want to get our definitions. Shit. Oh my gosh. My laptop almost got unplugged. So yeah. So let's look at the definition of boutique. All right. The first one is a small store, right? Blah blah blah. But a business or establishment that is sophisticated and fashionable. See, the reason why I say small is because anime in general, we can't call it prestige because it's still a niche medium. That's why I say boutique, because anime in general is a boutique medium, but the top of the top in that regard would be boutique anime. So Mid-School Hammer is a trash adaptation. Cyberpunk anime equal boutique in the sense that Imaishi is on it, yada yada. Well, I mean, bro, wait. You kind of just hit the nail on the fucking head in a way. Like another good example, it would either be that Trigun CG show, even the CG Tekken show. That's a better CG show than, like, that studio also made Kengan Ashura. And I've heard less complaints about the CG in Tekken than I've ever heard about Kengan Ashura. And as much as people love Kengan Ashura, a lot of people tell me that they had to switch to the manga because of the CG, you know? So I wasn't sure what you meant by boutique anime, so it's funny that the moment, like, it's funny that I understood the moment you brought up Be the Beginning. No, absolutely. No, because when I say no, this is the thing. Like, it's one of those things where the concept of it is gonna sound so weird and nebulous at first, but when I start saying what these shows are, when I start mentioning these shows, I can write you a list of boutique anime right now. In fact, I'm gonna give you Nine's list of boutique anime. We're gonna write it on Google Docs. I'm gonna like come up with it right now, and I'm gonna write it in front of you lot. Give me a second. Let me do a window capture. Oh 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 whoa oh 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 doo 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 oh 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 doo 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 whoa oh oh oh. Okay, so I think you lot can see this now, right? You lot can see it, yeah. So Nine. Let me just go into thing and say Nine's list of boutique anime. Number 1, we're gonna put Star Wars Visions, cause right, like I want to be able to communicate what this whole thing is to you, right? I don't know how many we're gonna get. It might be 9, but Star Wars Visions, and as I said earlier, be the beginning. What's another show that fits into the mold? Well, we'll do RWBY Ice Queen, RWBY Ice Queendom. Does Spy X Family fit into the boutique mode? Because I don't want to. No, really, because Spy X Family is a weird case. It would be if it had more clear like funding. If it had a more clear like. If it had a more clear like intent with its marketing. If it was like squarely pushed on a streaming service. Actually, now that I think of it, it was kind of one of Crunchyroll's boutiques. Cause the reason why boutique anime are a thing is because all of these streaming let me explain what's going on here. Now that we've reached our manga TVH, LOL. Yeah, it is our manga. But like now that we've reached the point where Crunchyroll has to compete with other anime services, another thing Crunchyroll's having to compete with is like originals. They're having to compete with content. Like these platforms, what they specifically want more than anything, they don't necessarily want like the best thing. They just want a thing there. You know what I mean? They don't care about it being the. Oh my god! Thank you, Board Burrito. You just gave me a good one. Fucking Super Crooks. Super Crooks is one of the most boutique fucking shows I've ever seen. And honestly, like that show scared me. Because it made me think. Because last year I thought to myself, why are all my favorite fucking shows stuff that was either paid for by Western distributors, something that's like an anime adapting something Western, blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, fucking Star Wars Visions was on my favorites last year. Super Crooks was one of my favorites last year. Like, that kind of, it's like, and I know for a fact Edgerunners is going to be my singular favorite anime next to Buchigire this year. Like, Buchigire is my favorite show so far, but like, I know Cyberpunk Edgerunners, like, those two is going to like be right next to like Buchigire. So, with all this Western money coming in, let's add the new Trigun show. Fena Pirate Princess is another one. In fact, actually, let me tell you what one of the first ever boutiques was. You lot want to know? Do you lot want to? There's in fact, I just clocked it. I just clocked it. This boutique phenomenon is big. This boutique phenomenon. Oh, when I'm forced to be with the transphobes. Oh my gosh. This boutique phenomenon began. Oh my god. I can't believe I didn't think of this part of it. It began when IGPX aired on Adult Swim. And you want to know when this modern era of boutique anime started? With Space Dandy. And then the FLCL sequels. Again, and so then now you're understanding what I mean by boutique. It's these shows that are given prestige by either being let's do this. Let's look at the different reasons a show can be boutique, because now that we've got like a good spread of shows, we can go into the specific reasons why, right? Okay, so and we're gonna color. So like I'm gonna put in. We're gonna do a color chart, right? So we're gonna give red to creator is popular. We're gonna give blue to based on a popular out of medium property. We're gonna give green to, let me think. Sequel / prequel to series the West liked. Let me make the green a bit darker because it's harder to see. Let's like make this like a darker green, right? So you've got one of the reasons why these shows is made is the creator is popular. Another reason the show is made is based on a popular out of medium property, and the third reason is the series is a prequel or sequel to a series that the West liked. So let's start giving these the correct colors that they need to get, right? Star Wars Visions, we're actually gonna color it. We're gonna color it red and blue, right? And the reason why we're coloring it red and no, what am I saying? Yeah. The reason why we're coloring it red and blue is because the marketing push for Star Wars Visions was that it was a Star Wars show. Yeah, it was a Star Wars show approached by the lens of some of the heaviest hitters in anime history, right? I have one more. And this is the most, because there's a few on this list like this. We're gonna give it like a very weird color. Like let's give it like let's give it like pink. Let's give this pink. Jason DeMarco wanted it. Basically, let's give that because this guy is a very important person in the anime world. You lot should look at his name up. But Be the Beginning, that literally is a show directed by Kazuki Nakashima and produced by Production IG. So yeah, the creator is popular. RWBY Ice Queendom, once again, it's one of those simultaneous situations where like the creator is popular and it's based on like a semi-popular out of medium. What's it called? Is based on a semi-popular out of medium, property. And then you've got Cyberpunk Edge Runners, which quite literally is the most of it's quite literally the most of both of the red and blue next to Star Wars Visions, right? Star Wars Visions and Cyberpunk Edge Runners are kind of cut from the same cloth, especially since Imaishi directed something in both of them, or Imaishi directed all of one and one thing in the other. Then you got Super Crooks. And the thing about Super Crooks is that, like, Super Crooks is interesting because you would think, actually, I figured it out. I figured out another reason why boutique anime gets made. Because there's going to be a Game of Thrones show that comes out, animated by a Japanese studio soon, set in the Asian part of the Game of Thrones world, which is going to be an example of the purple color on this list, which is expanding non-traditionally anime series world building / universes. All right. Let's make this like purple. So Super Crooks fits very neatly. Super Crooks kind of fits very neatly into purple because it's a series that, like, the reason look, nobody fucking cares about Jupiter Ascending. No one's ever, like, I swear to God, even the most hipster of superhero like comic book readers, you're talking to him. I knew about Jupiter Ascending before you lot did. Trust me. I follow Mark Millar's writing. I'm also a person who has grown out of Mark Millar's writing. LOL. And one of the things I have liked from Mark Millar recently is fucking Super Crooks. He wrote that, and that was a good ass fucking series. And the fact that it got an anime, you know, expanding non-traditionally anime series' world building, you know, well, technically, it's not expanding because it's based on a book that was expanding it, but I can't make it a thing of based on a popular out of medium property because it's not, because Super Crooks is the most popular piece of media from the Jupiter Ascending universe. So I can't make that argument. In fact, another example, even though I don't know if it counts as anime, The Witcher, Nightmare of the Wolf. I don't know if it counts as anime. I don't fucking care anymore. People are making shit fucking count as anime. Like I like that doesn't fucking. But I'm gonna put that there as an example of like what I'm talking about. Another example of what I'm talking about when a show is expanding a traditionally non-anime series' universe. I remember when you talked about Jupiter Ascending on the No, not Jupiter Ascending. No. I'm talking about like. Oh my god, no, Jupiter Ascending is a different thing. Oh my fucking god. No, I'm talking about Jupiter's Legacy. Sorry, I meant to say Jupiter's Legacy. I knew about Jupiter's Legacy a long time ago. Jupiter's Legacy is the series that Mark Millar wrote, which is essentially what if superheroes were anti-capitalist? I don't know. Like, what if superheroes like functioned on like a rule set? I guess I never understood. Oh wait, no. I remembered what the point of Jupiter's Legacy was. It's what if the first generation of superheroes was really cool and the second generation of superheroes was all failed children. That's Jupiter's Legacy. That's like what Jupiter's Legacy is essentially about. So like you can't in Jupiter's Legacy, and by extension the Super Crooks universe, it's kind of like the Boys universe, where like superpowers are very limited to a certain thing, but instead of it being Compound V, what I'm about to tell you sounds a lot more interesting than it actually is. So please don't actually watch the series of Jupiter's Legacy on Netflix. You will find yourself very bored and disappointed by the end of it. But watch Super Crooks. But basically there was this like the two rich brothers, sons of a billionaire. Their dad jumps out a building, and the younger brother is like, man, I'm depressed. Dad just killed himself. I'm gonna use dad's money to go fund an excursion to go find a magic island or some shit. I can't remember the specifics, but homie goes and gets like a team of people to go find this island. Right, one of the homies is on a wheelchair. This other lady is doing like no, actually no. One of the homies wasn't on a wheelchair. It's too later when he gets on the wheelchair. Regardless, bun all that. The point I'm trying to make is, they get to this island, they touch a rock, and they all get superpowers. And the kids of those 5 people are essentially who the rest of the superpowered population is. Right? That's more or less it. So yeah, Fenna Parrot Princess. Ah, yes, we finally got into our first pink show. Now, I can finally explain what the pink is. And let's put FLCL as half blue. No, what am I saying? Let's put FLCL as half green and half pink. Because that's, if we're keeping it a buck, that's what it was, right? IGPX is another example of an anime that Jason DeMarco wanted. And Space Dandy's the anomaly here. I'll get to that one. Everything else, though. Sorry, I'm burping bad. Jesus Christ. Let's look at the pink shows real quick. Jason DeMarco is the editor-in-chief, executive producer, head honcho, main guy, #1 dude at Adult Swim. And he's also the motherfucker who single-handedly revived Toonami. Yes, they are making another FLCL because Jason DeMarco keeps footing the bill for more FLCL. Like, Jason DeMarco is more or less the one white otaku in media I trust. Me, Nino, personally. You know how mean I am to people in his specific position. He's a fucking suit. But he's one of the guys in general who is like, he's fought for this fucking medium. Like, my nigga, you like anime because of him. If you watched Toonami as a kid, you like anime because of Jason DeMarco. Trust me. Because that motherfucker, if you watched Adult Swim anime as a kid, mainly that, if you really got into Adult Swim anime, because he pushed for the Toonami shit, he was one of the guys there, but like, really his bag was Anime Saturday. Like, if you watch that shit, oh my fucking god, he has a hold on your fucking childhood. Deeply. So that guy has more or less parlayed his executive strength at the company in Adult Swim and his relationships with Japanese producers, because again, think of it, this guy is the reason why a lot of these fucking Japanese studios are household names today. Do you think Studio Bones gets to where they are if we didn't watch Fullmetal Alchemist as kids? He set that up. You know? Do you think motherfucking Studio Madhouse gets to where it is if like a bunch of their movies didn't get shot? Or do you think Ghibli gets like a big push in the West if like Adult Swim wasn't showing their movies like a few at nighttime? Bro, people don't know how much pull that guy had. Yeah, they really don't. Jason DeMarco, there's a reason why he's one of the only people who has his name on this list. There's a reason why he's one of the only people who literally I had to make a section of because Jason DeMarco wanted it. Like, yes, Jason DeMarco is a very key figure in boutique anime. If my man's brought E7 to Adult Swim, then he's A1 in my book. Oh, yes, he brought Air. Oh, yes, my nigga. Yeah, Production IG with Ghost in the Show. Yeah, that why do you think Production IG let him wait, do you think any other executive could have gone to Production IG and asked them to make more FLCL? The studio that almost like the anime that almost like ruined the lives of a bunch of the people who worked on it based on how hard they had to go to do it. Like, do you think you could easily just walk up to, like, anyone could have just walked up to them and been like, hey, we want to make another one? No, he number one, I'm sure it wasn't easy. Like, I'm sure they gave him the runaround. But number two, he's the only one who could have even walked in the fucking door in the first place. So yeah, IGPX actually was the first example of, in my opinion, it's like, I don't have any other American TV examples. Literally the best thing will never stop shitting it. Yeah. Like, I can't think of another like yeah, I can't really think of another example of an American funded show. Oh, sorry, let me add another old boutique anime to this list when I add this final show to this list, y'all are gonna, the people who still don't get what boutique anime means will finally understand what boutique anime means. Are you ready for the last show, guys? Are you ready to see what the last show is? There you go. That is Sound Boutique. Because, you know what? Yeah, yes. Suki, yes. You wanna know why? Because boutique anime has everything to do with the circumstances for its release, right? It has everything to do with the circumstances for how it's released to the public. So it has, you're either boutique from a level of production or you're boutique from how you're distributed. And Zamd was boutique in both ways. That was does anyone remember how Zamd came out? Does anyone remember how like Zamd came out? Like, does anyone remember that? Is Berserk 1997 boutique? No. Having good animation doesn't mean you're a boutique show. LOL. But does anyone remember how what's it called? With what that shit came out? Like Zammed. That shit was like exclusive to fucking Sony PlayStation TV. LOL. In fact, it was one of the I was Zammed on VOD. Like, really, Zammed was one of the first like examples of the modern version of this. I didn't even know what a Zammed is. Yeah. Okay, let me go. Because we're gonna watch the opening together. Actually, no. Bonen, no. No, we're not doing that. Bonen, no. Yeah. Because it's an old show, they're not gonna like blow my fucking spot up if I play the OP. Will they? Oh my god, I can't find the OP. Well, basically, y'all are seeing what the show looks like. Essentially, it was a show by Bones. Wait. Is it one of those things where I can't even watch it because like you can't find the video anymore? Yeah, video on via Sony Music. Yep, they're about to snipe my bitch ass, bro. Like goddamn, nigga. Yo. Anyway, let me just go to let's just go to this Zammed. So this show, Zammed Lost Memories, is, you can tell from like the level of detail, like if boutique had, like, basically this is what 2007 boutique anime looked like. This is what boutique anime looked like back when like I was young. Was it 2007? Like 2010? Play the ED at least. Not like I can't find. Little PSN TV died, so did Zammed. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean by like, okay, we're gonna get to the downsides of the boutique market soon, but first I need to finish talking about the list, and then I need to get into how Buchigira is kind of like an antithesis to all this. I remember a year ago it was all on YouTube, pirated and dubbed. Yeah, same designer for E7 and G-Record. Yup, same character designer. In fact, if you Miss Cherry, if you enjoyed Eureka 7, you're going to be very happy with us bringing up Zammed, because that was a show for you. That was a show for people like you who wanted more Eureka 7 but didn't like the second season. LOL. That's pretty much who they made that shit for. And they were so convinced the West was going to eat it up, right, that they fucking signed an exclusive deal with Sony. That's what I mean by boutique. It's when, so boutique, there's a few different, so now that I put them all here, right, now I've kind of communicated to myself some of the reasons why these shows get made, right? Now that I'm putting it all here, I'm starting to communicate to myself the reasons these shows get made, and I'm also beginning to communicate to myself what exactly makes a boutique show, right? What makes a show boutique as opposed to just a good-looking anime? And how can we avoid a situation where the only good-looking anime are boutique? Does that make sense? So, not all of these shows are created equal, right? Not all of them are created equal. But they all share a few concurrent like similarities. And that none of them have to do with text, none of them have to do with art style, none of them have to do with aesthetic, none of them have to do with theme. That's not what I mean by the running through lines of all of these shows. I'm talking about the intention behind these shows existing. And this is when we get into territory that like is very uncomfortable to talk about for people who like to treat anime like an art form, and for people who like to treat anime like something that means something to them on a deep emotional level, because now we have to talk about what anime is as a business. And what that is especially now, what you lot need to know more than anything, Now, animation is a very interesting medium for capital, because you don't need actors. It can be done under very harsh conditions. Like, the one industry that didn't see anything get really canceled, only delayed, was the anime industry. Like, no anime got canceled because of COVID. Stuff got pushed back a season, but and the only reason stuff got pushed back, not even, in fact, some stuff got pushed back. Most shows came out the way you normally got them. Especially like that first year in 2020, like a lot of shows did come out how they would normally come out. You wanna know why? Because you don't need to fly anyone out anywhere. You don't need to keep up with a shooting schedule. You don't need a call sheet. You don't need like a set designer. You don't need shit. You just need a bunch of dudes who can draw and a bunch of dudes who know how to use Photoshop, and a bunch of dudes who can, like, direct people on a microphone, and a bunch of people who can speak into a microphone. That's literally all you functionally need to make animation. So, with the material existence of the medium being what it is, what you're allowed to do with it becomes a lot more enticing, especially if you're trying to make things that are less things for themselves and more things you sell as a package to sell a service. Does that make sense to y'all? Where I'm going with this is, nothing you're seeing on this list that was released after 2018, because the stuff that was released before was functioning on different rules, but like, especially Space Dandy was functioning on different rules, but the stuff now is all functioning on a different set of rules. Like, nothing you're seeing in that list, right, was made for any other purpose than to sell a streaming service to you, than to get you to subscribe to a streaming service. That is the point of all of these new shows. That is what. Now, see, this is where the word boutique really means something. A business or establishment that is small, sophisticated, and fashionable. And by small, in this sense, the word small doesn't mean small in scope, small in scale, small in size. No. What small means in this sense means it's meant to exist in a much smaller media ecosystem. Meaning it's meant to exist in the media ecosystem of a streaming service, right? It's meant to exist as a package for people to pick from in their collection of things to watch from a service. These shows specifically don't exist to promote the, like, value of the medium as a medium. These shows, so Doro is boutique anime, right? I'm so hesitant to call actually, nah, I can't even not call it that. It is. Yeah, it definitely is. Yeah, Carolyn too. Oh, yes. Oh my God, you guys are like giving me new ones. Oh. And guess what, Carolyn Tuesday gets to be red, because Bones and Studio, what's it called? It gets to be green, right? It gets to be green. And on top of that, because it gets to be green because it's technically it's technically set in the same universe as Cowboy Bebop. And it gets to be pink because guess who fucking set that bitch up? LOL. Guess who set that shit up? Yeah. So, you've got this new domain where anime resides now, right? Where they know how to sell, so actually I have to explain a few other things because I can finally do this now. So I don't have to explain it too much in the video I'm making. As in when you're really like it when you're really into anime, when you're like really an otaku, like really hardcore a weeb, right? Like when you're like actually like deep into the fucking trenches of this, the marketing techniques of Western capitalism don't work on you, right? You know what I mean? Like the methods by which the Benet's method of Western capital, like marketing and propaganda and advertising, works less effectively on you. Not because you're somehow a more evolved person, you're not. It's mainly because you are working with a different set of tools, right? Because whenever Japan drops like a piece of media that they know bangs with their audience, guess what's happening? You're up there too, raising your head up and down. The only difference is you don't do the same thing for Call of Duty or for FIFA or for Marvel movies, you know? But you'll do it for Love Live. You'll do it for Maji Reco. You'll do it for like you'll do it if a new Gurren Lagann drop tomorrow. Oh my fucking god! All of you would go insane if they made a boutique Gurren Lagann sequel on fucking like Netflix or no. Where would the boutique Gurren Lagann sequel go? Like who does Trigger have relationships with? Yeah, it would go on Netflix. It would go on Netflix. That's really where it would go, because like that's where all their shit winds up. Like their TV animes usually wind up on Crunchyroll. Their boutique shit winds up on Netflix. So that's why Little Witch Academia wound up there. Oh my gosh, what's a good trailer from Japan? Was The Great Pretenders a Netflix original? No. The Great Pretenders was a Netflix jail show, right? I don't want to count that as a boutique show because it doesn't really fit the mold. Mainly because, like, Jesus, antivirus tech on 3 first since your last summary. Why is my fucking threat protection on? Oh my fucking god. Turn off threat protection. Jesus. This is the shit that killed my fucking like my Watch Dogs download. My god. Anyway, sorry. My tools is, was it made with Kenichi Yoshida and or is there a robot pilots? I mean, no. Exactly. No, because you're kind of hitting the head of your I'd hate it, but I'd love a boutique Gurren Lagann sequel. I'd hate it, but oh yeah, you'd fucking watch it, yeah. But like the way you just described that is how they get us. And this is gonna be a part of my Orientalism video, but like Japan has made use of like they know we're looking. Okay, Orientalism is us looking at a culture and extrapolating things on them without their input, right? Japan knows that's been done about their culture. They know that's been done about their history and society. So they feed into it, right? They literally play into it. A lot of new Japanese media plays with the same Orientalist like dogmas and brainworms as like old Western media, which is hilarious. Like, anytime you see Japanese people overcompensating about honor or over chatting about like, you know, their honor or their like status and shit, that's a relic of Orientalism that they internalized, because that wasn't really a thing, right? Bushido was a thing, and Bushido has a lot of aspects to it that run kind of countercurrent to how a lot of modern Japanese media and a lot of Western Orientalism about Japanese culture paints their understanding of honor and their understanding of what is righteousness. But that's a conversation for a whole. Yeah, we're doing a huge analysis on the fly. Like, yeah, no, that sounded like you're just talking about Cool Japan. Oh my god, you know what? Yeah, Cool Japan is literally just the name for what I'm talking about. Like, Cool Japan is just like the codified word to describe the concept I'm bringing up. In fact, boutique anime and Cool Japan have such an intertwined like existence. I would go as far as to say the way boutique anime function in the modern day is the current expression in anime of Cool Japan. the old expression of Cool Japan in anime used to just be like light novel adaptations or like Crunchyroll simulcasts. That was what Cool Japan was. Now it's boutique. It's the boutique stuff. Because if they anime has essentially gotten to the point where the bigger studios, like the studios that me and my friends, well, not friends, me and the people who I used to be on a podcast with talked about back in that era, all of those studios are now at a position because kind of the culture that we've created, and this is basically every culture does this once it becomes mainstream. Oh, absolutely. This is the modularity principle. All of the energy goes into fewer and fewer projects. That's essentially it. Yeah. All of the energy of the medium goes into fewer and fewer projects. Like, bro, from what I can understand from Jimmy's improve, boutique anime is an anime that specifically caters such made for the West, often playing on popular cultural tropes and nostalgia. Yeah, like it's like what boutique anime? So boutique anime, yeah, basically like the way Cherry Cardozo said, it's an anime specifically catered to or made for Western consumption. Like, and it doesn't have to overtly be for Western consumption, but it through existence of the way the anime so here's the funny thing anime is doing now. They know people like me exist, right? Who are so hopped up on Japan and Japanese culture that they can drop anything and drop any cultural reference and anything they want, and people like me will understand it and then explain it to the people who don't. That's where they've gotten to. That's what I mean by now they're using Orientalism on their side. They're using Orientalism like to their advantage because they know there's sweaty neckbeards who love Japan so much that they will explain all of the intricacies and weird shit in a medium that is built for a wholly different culture. So what that then generates is a culture of people who exist in the West who have eaten the fruit of a different media sphere. And when I say media sphere, I mean like you know what I mean, like in America the media sphere is Hollywood, TikTok, and like YouTube and Twitch. That's the media sphere. That's what the media sphere in America is. It's those things and kind of Twitter, right? So modularity sounds like what happens to movies. I hate it. I mean, hey man, yeah, the modularity principle. All the energy going into fewer and fewer places. Like that's really what it is. But do you think it has to do with the need for tourism? Anime being a kind of cultural tourism. Anime has always been cultural tourism. In fact, I would say in recent years that's kind of seen the reason why more slice of life shows are rocketing to popularity nowadays, because people want a grounded look at Japan. That's a grounded look at Japan will always sell. That's another thing. A grounded look, like if there's any anime producers watching this, a grounded look at Japan with a special twist that captures people's hearts will always fucking sell. Haruhi, Anonatsu Demateru, fucking Durarara, like a ground, like all of that, like a grounded look at Japanese life with a slight tinge of Denki to it. You know what I mean by Denki, like a slight tinge of the supernatural or a slight tinge of some weirdness, like that's the easiest show to sell, easiest fucking shit to sell, because it will bang in Japan because they just love that shit. But it will bang in the West because they love just seeing normal life in Japan. And they also love mythological stuff happening in Japan. It's so easy to sell to weebs. So now let's get to Buchigire, right? And let's get to the other side of, how can I put this? The other side of where money in anime is going, right? Give me 1 second. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open up and I'm going to show y'all what the other side look like. See, China been putting money in anime for a long time. The Chinese have by, you know, virtue of proximity, been very close to the Japanese anime market. And in fact, now that I'm looking at this, I'm seeing some shows, and it's like, oh my fucking god. So one of the foundational China, if you see this company involved in your anime, you know China did it. I mean, capital C, China did it. And let's look. It's called Bilibili, aka the Chinese streaming service. It's the streaming service that lets them all watch, you know, anime, essentially. So let's look at some stuff. I'm just gonna specifically go through the TV stuff, because like going through more than that is like a bit too much work. So you can see a lot of shows here, right? There's a lot of shows that are like not particularly, you know, fancy looking. What you're looking at here is anime that looks more like the anime that we're used to, right? Like, we're looking at anime that's more. What am I saying? Yasuke, what about that? Yasuke is not a boutique. Let me tell you why Yasuke is not a boutique. Let me actually explain why Yasuke is not a boutique. Yasuke is not a boutique anime. Not because it's like not well animated, or not because it doesn't have similarities, but because the function and purpose behind the series, like what that show existed to do, Netflix didn't give a fuck about. And Netflix wasn't necessarily using that show as a okay. The reason why Yasuke doesn't count as a boutique to me, like for the purposes of what we're the censoring Billy, Billy, yeah. What about Billy memes hit so different? Yeah, no, we're about to get to Billy in just a second, but like the reason why Yasuke doesn't count as a boutique show to me is because I know for a fact when they went to LaShawn Thomas was like in that position to make the show, he probably like didn't take a lot of shortcuts and things that other people probably would have took. And on top of that, there's nothing about Yasuke as an anime that like, okay, a boutique anime, right, comes in a few different it comes in the few different flavors I kind of laid out, you know, these ones. And one of the major flavors, like the two major flavors, the three most major flavors are these three, right? These are the three most major flavors. This last one is only starting to happen now because like the Witcher Nightmare of the Wolf happened. That's really the only reason why like that last one is happening. But these first three are usually why. LaShawn Thomas, he's popular to me, and he's popular to like black people, so not really. I can't count it as it existed because of this, so no. No one knew about Yasuke. No one even cared about the story of Yasuke before he announced the fucking anime. So yeah, like literally, I feel like yeah. And then it wasn't a sequel or prequel to anything. It doesn't really fit. It doesn't fit into any of the boxes that exist. Like, and the reason why it's like, why does it have to fit into a box? Being in a box is what makes it a boutique, right? Being in the boxes is what makes it a boutique. Being able to fit it into those boxes is what makes it that. Anyone, like anybody seen Cannon Buster? Like, and Yasuke was marketed as a black creative vehicle, and it's like you can't really call stuff like that boutique, right? Like, bro, them niggas fumbled the story so hard. I mean, I'm not. I don't want to talk about the Yasuke anime. Like, it wasn't particularly good. It's a great thing that it existed, and what I hope happens, what I want to happen is I want Yasuke as like a character to be as foundational to black weeb storytelling as fucking Sun Wukong is to the Chinese. That's how I want us to treat him. I want him to be like the centerpiece from which a lot of our black storytelling in the otaku space happens. Because, and what I mean by that is, on a philosophical level, a black man going to a foreign land, integrating into the culture, and doing the best he can in that system and showing up everybody, that his story in and of itself is how we should you know, want to exist in this world. But even beyond that, as a character, fictionally, I mean, in a fictional context, as a character, Yasuke's dimensions to him make him so, like, oh my fucking god, how is it that, like, we're so hungry to tell alternate history stories about black people, but we haven't, no one's told a story about what if Yasuke survived Honoji, or what if Yasuke left Japan after Honoji, or like went back to Africa, or like stayed a samurai in Japan. Like, literally the only story like that that's ever been made is the Yasuke anime. Never mind. What was the question? Isn't Yasuke the literal black samurai? Yeah. Like, we can always make another story of Yasuke. Like, I mostly want Yasuke to inspire someone to make something better. I'm sure it was blowing some black kid's mind somewhere. It was blowing my mind. I mean, anyone who's been on the stream for any length of time knows that I had this pitch for basically black samurai demon slayers in like in the modern like America, but like the twist is they're all like, okay, so the twist of it would be, back in the day when Yasuke came to Japan, it turned out that he was really good at hunting demons, right? So the Japanese were like, wait, black people can hunt demons? Alright. And guess what was really readily available in that time? Fucking black slaves. So they brought a bunch of black slaves from Africa, trained them to hunt demons as samurai, and some of them left, some of them integrated, some of them escaped. But all in all, the descendants of these characters are all like modern black samurai demon slayers, right? Urban dark, yeah, like the urban dark fantasy streams, yeah, like imagine African people. Literally, that, okay, so in the world, let me give you a little bit of world building for a series I'm working on. In the world building of this series I was thinking of, there's something I call the secret Sengoku period. So the main character is descended from an ancient black samurai who's not Yasuke. So there's this story of Honoji happens, Yasuke leaves, goes back to like, basically goes to the, because I'm from where I'm from. Whatever that is, please make some Mesoamerican. Whoever that is, please make some Mesoamerican out of it. Yo, imagine Yasuke. So teaches what he learned. He goes back to Africa, teaches what he learned. His family survives and listens to the Monday. That's just free. Like, bro, that I literally, if you're a writer of the Yasuke concept, is right for someone to just get like, bro, let me tell you what let me actually expand on what that concept that you're, okay, so Yasuke goes back to the region of the Oya Empire. If you go back to ancient West African map. All right, let's look at this. All right, so basically Yasuke goes back to this region. let's just call it this region, and makes friends with the Dahomey / Oyo / Benin empires. The reason I kind of mix all three is because they all had fairly like good relationships with each other. Benin. Oh, neck breath. Did you not know that Yoruba people are literally connected to the Benin tribe? Like, we're the same tribe as the Benin tribe, more or less. Like, the Benin tribe is their creation myth is quite literally, like, our creation myth is quite literally a spin-off side story of theirs. Does that make sense? Like, the story that they have for like how the world was created, our story for that is just like one of the children of their, it's kind of like how like Japan's creation myth gods are just the kids of China's creation myth gods. That's kind of how it works. That's kind of how it was. It's funny like that. But we are irreparably connected to the Benin people. So Yasuke goes back to this region at the time, and teaches a few people how to fight like Japanese people. Teaches them the swordsmanship shit. Bro, I'm saying my clan is Benin. We just dipped and moved to Nigeria. Yeah. like yeah, so he like what's it called? He trains there and becomes a samurai, becomes like an oga. He becomes like an oba, but like they call him the samurai oba, etc., etc. Um, then you've got this other character called Hitora. I'm half John, half Afemi. Nice. Like man, y'all, Jesus, y'all, you rolling deep with the southern connection. Um, basically, you had this other samurai who was from an Igbo village named Hitora, who's like the main character's ancestor. And essentially, you had these two communities of secret samurai African villages, essentially, forming and like growing in size. And after a while, they get wind of each other. And something I like to call the secret Sengoku period happens. Essentially, a series of skirmishes and wars and fights between black people in West Africa with katanas before the white people even showed up, or like before the white people even like made a big push. But the one thing that stopped the secret Sengoku period from like making them wipe each other out, and what made them actually coalesce, is colonialism. The British really started invading, and they were forced to put their petty tribal squabbles aside. You know, like real life, LOL. So fast forward to the modern day, this clan of black samurai demon hunters, they're essentially like they're essentially like scattered across the world. They've got chapters in Africa. They've got basically what they say is they've got chapters wherever there's black people. So wherever there's black people who need demons to hunt, they are there. And I'm talking like El Salvador. I'm talking like the Dominican Republic. I'm talking like one of the main parts of the series is the leader of the Brooklyn chapter using the fact that this is just, you know, because I'm just spitballing ideas. So like the main character's mentor figure is the main, you know, more or less like the leader of their chapter group in Brooklyn, but it's kind of a conflict of interest because he's dating the head of, like, let's call them the Japanese magical mafia, more or less, like the magic yakuza at LOL. More or less, he's dating the daughter of the magic yakuza, and they don't really like these black dudes who do samurai stuff because they don't think it's that cool. They weren't really vibing with teaching them how to do it in the first place, and they don't like that their descendants have fucking showed up, taking their jobs, LOL. But through his connection to that, homie's trying to open up a chapter in Japan, and that would be interesting, etc., etc. Ayo, Salvi rap. I mean, shit, there's black people in El Salvador, regardless. So, bun all that though. What was I talking about earlier? I was talking about Billy. So, with this existing, right? Someone take a picture of this because I'm deleting it after this stream. Like, whatever. Like, with this existing, right? This boutique anime world that we're in. The flip side, as in like the other side of the modularity principle, is these shows. There's not really a word for them. We can still just call this stuff anime, you know? We can still just call this stuff normal anime, because that is what it is, right? You know, Orient, fucking, like, you know, like these kind. There's nothing here that's like offensive, but there's nothing here that's particularly like great, except for maybe like Fire Force and Buchigire. Buchigire is a cool show to me. Not because it's doing anything like special, because it's not really, right? It's not really doing nothing like it's not doing nothing revolutionary, right? But what it is doing. Oh yeah, another thing, another good. Let me show you another good fucking producer. The only Japanese producer that's still making like legitimately great anime. Yeah, so the two producers that are like that are still trying out here are like Twin Engine. You've seen them. You trust me. You've seen these shows. All of you have seen these shows. You've seen at least one show produced by Twin Engine. It doesn't matter which one. I've seen them all, except maybe Vinland. No, except Babylon. I've seen Vinland Saga. Pet's not that bad actually. I think Pet dropped like last year. I think, didn't it? No, it dropped 2 years ago, but it dropped fairly recently, and it was well received. So all I'm saying is there are anime that, like, for example, look at Jigoku Raku, right? Now, I don't know who's producing Jigoku Raku. I don't know where it's gonna release, but that's a show that, like, under the right circumstances, under the correct marketing, you could turn. Let me explain to you why the like the layers are so malleable here. Why it's so easy to like get confused here. Because Jigoku Raku, right, is the kind of show. Let's play the preview real quick. Jigoku Raku is the kind of show, right, that under the right circumstances, under the right marketing team, under the right, like, you know, just under the right money, you could easily drive this as a boutique show. This would be a boutique show in other circumstances. The reason it's not, because again, it's got the looks. It's a Mappa show. It looks fucking amazing, right? In fact, it's funny because this is one of 3 shows Mappa is making right now, and it's only one of the 3 that isn't necessarily a boutique. Jujutsu Kaisen kind of fits into the mold. It's like a shonen boutique. Like it's riding the wave in between shonen and boutique. And Chainsaw Man is pretty much just gonna be the first ever shonen boutique, like straight up shonen battle boutique anime, straight up. And it's to the point where they brought Bleach back as a fucking boutique, my nigga. To the point where we have to watch it on motherfucking Disney, dog. That is to that point. That's how malleable this shit is. I still gotta read it. Oh, I know this is Nano Bait lol. Yeah, bro. Like, I hope it's an amazing adaptation. Yeah, no, it's bro. Jigoku Raku is one of those shows that like, one of those manga that justifies Japanese like media. It's one of those manga that legitimately justifies Japanese media. So like, but in my opinion though, you've got this like new paradigm, right? Where, like I said, you've got the boutique stuff being released for the streaming services, being released for the reasons that they're being released for, and you've got the stuff on the other side of the modularity principle, which is either you've got high budget, you've got the same high budget anime that would have come out regardless, right? Really, that's kind of honestly the other side of it. It's the high budget anime that would have come out regardless. It's the stuff that we would have been into it's the stuff that could have existed prior to Bleach trying to be on Disney? Yeah, wait. They brought back, isn't Naruto Shippuden boutique? No. Shippuden doesn't count as boutique. I don't think so. Actually, really, now that I think about it, we kind of can call Naruto boutique. Really. That like there are parts of that show. Chainsaw Man is painfully boutique. The anime is trying to make it seem like a grim, dark, and serious thing when it's actually pretty funny and strange. Yeah, or at least it was boutique for a short period. Yeah, I actually hate how it's been marketed. I mean, bro, you can now okay. So Saliso, you can now see, right, what I'm like saying when I say like, this is the new paradigm, because you've got these shows. Remember, Shippuden was brought back on Disney XD. Yeah, it was boutique for a little bit. Now that I think about it, it was a boutique show. Like, now that if we're really thinking about it, Naruto was a boutique show. There was a bidding war for that show. Like, Cartoon Network and Disney fought for that show. It's kind of nuts. Regardless though, yeah. So Twin Engine, Billy. Let me think. What does Eye Addiction produce? Like, Eye Addiction, not so much. Yeah, not so much. Eye Addiction is kind of like, but I'm really just like looking through certain things just to like, I'm looking through Twin Engine's production stuff. Aha, yes, I knew it. See, because I wanted to know whether or not they had a part on it. I would like to know what specific part they had, but let me. Oh, never mind. I know. This makes all the sense in the world. So, what's going on here? Twin Engine is okay. So before I explain, let me give y'all a little bit more to them. Twin Engine are more or less the company that owns these following studios. Like it's not just a production company. Twin Engines, it's less of a production company and more of a way for the anime studios to be able to make their shit. If that makes sense. Twin Engine is literally just like it's built by and for the animators. It's like they plan and produce anime. Like look at their key people. Look at the key people in their fucking. Look at these key names. Anyone who's been in and around, like the anime industry knows those people first and foremost as like anime people, like people who make the stuff, not people who work behind the scenes. So this Twin Engine is a production house that whenever either a show is made with like little oversight or a studio just wants to make their own show, for example, Colorido or Gino, they'll go through Twin Engine. And guess what? Guess two of the studios that were involved in motherfucking Star Wars Visions, Gino Studio and Colorido. So what I'm guessing happened here was the House of Mouse moseyed on over to Twin Engine, specifically Twin Engine, because Twin Engine has relationships with all of the studios that made. They're not like, only Colorido and Gino are subsidiaries here, and I think Science Saru, but no, not Science Saru. Just like the rest of them don't even have like, what's it called? They're just like, a lot of these are like backup studios and like CG stuff. But a lot of the studios who worked for them are studios that Twin Engine has produced shows with. Either they produce shows with them, or they've like, they essentially know the people who work at those studios to get certain things made. So like, it's really interesting whenever I look at the studios behind Star Wars Vision specifically, because especially since there's a second season now. There's going to be a second season. So what I hope Star Wars Visions ends up being is not what it could easily turn into. What it could easily turn into is, what if we just made the second season a sequel to all of the episodes that we made the first season? If they did that, dropped. I hope I never see any more Star Wars Visions. What I do want them to do is because Star Wars Visions, in my opinion, is how you do boutique right. This is how Star Wars Visions is the best boutique anime in my opinion. Like it's not necessarily that it's the best anime that is a boutique anime. I would say that's going to be Cyberpunk Edgerunners. But as far as just like an anime that like typifies the positives of what the boutique style can be, Burn the Witch 2. Burn the Witch definitely works as is Boruto boutique? Hell no. Boruto is not a boutique show. Boruto does not, like, you can't have a year-round animation. You can't have like a year-round animation schedule and be a boutique show. Like, come on, please. Like, what if One Piece can't be boutique, neither can Naruto. Where was I with this? Yeah. So, having an anthology series, and it's not just that it's an anthology series. Star Wars Visions, in my opinion, is what you should show to people if you want to get them into anime. And not because, and I would actually preface that with, even if they don't fucking like Star Wars. In fact, I would actually tell you, if you want someone to both like Star Wars and anime, show them Visions. Because not only is it not like one vision of Star Wars, It's not like, that's why I think the name is genius, because it's visions plural. It's multiple different ideas as to what Star Wars can be, presented to you from the greatest, well, not the greatest, because I mean Kinema Citrus, but presented to you by some of the greatest anime studios that exist, right? Like it presented to you by some of the greatest studios to ever do it. And I think if they want to keep that momentum going, they have to get a whole new batch. Like, maybe let Trigger stay, maybe let Colorido stick around, but we don't need another thing from Kinema Citrus. We don't need another thing from IG. Like, I personally don't want to see one from Science Sorrow this time. Like, I think we honestly, I don't, because didn't Science Sorrow do like 2? Oh my god. I honestly think we do really well with the second season if we just let Wit do one. Let fucking Nas do one. Let fucking, and I know this is all up to like scheduling and production and business and capitalism. Like, so I'm just spitballing. I don't know what's possible for these people. I don't know I don't know the domestic side of the industry, the Japanese domestic side of the industry that well, or well enough to, not that I don't know it, but I don't know it well enough to make that kind of like prediction as to what studios would be in the next one. But I'm saying, because I mean, this really all just looks Tokyo system, right? Like, none of these studios are outside of the Tokyo system. So if we're saying that, like, what Tokyo system studios do we want? Fuck it, man. Those A1 Pictures boys have been starving and struggling and dying on the vine for decades. I would like to see them try some Star Wars. Let's let fucking Cloverworks do some Star Wars, right? Let's let Cloverworks try it. We definitely need another Trigger one. Bro, why did they not call Shaft? What? How did they not call Shaft for a Star Wars? What? Are you lot crazy? You lot cracked? What? Good Guy Sith would have been something interesting. Yeah, I mean, okay. Watch them steal ideas from visions for the movies. Oh, brother, your prediction history doesn't inspire much confidence. Lord, Jimmy, your predictions. I'm back. Well, my thing is, I'm good at predicting things, but I'm not good at predicting good things. I'm not good at predicting optimistically. Whenever I try and be like, oh, what if this happens? Like, this would be cool. But whenever I'm like, yeah, no, this is the fuck thing that's gonna show up. It's gonna be like this. We just have to deal with it. That's what happens whenever I say that. So whenever I'm positive, it never shows up. Whenever I'm negative, so like, it's my guess is that we're literally just gonna get second episodes to all the shit that we just saw, right? We're just like, also Sunrise and, oh my fucking god, it's okay. Actually, I had a Star Wars Visions video that I was gonna drop when I first watched the series, right? And when it was first dropping, because I wanted to like catch the algorithm, but like I got lazy and I didn't finish it. But in the video, I go on a fucking rant about how you idiotic people, the people that went and to not only did they revolutionize the lightsaber as a weapon, they kept that shit alive outside of like your series. Who else was using lightsabers in media? It would be like a flash in the pan thing as a way to make fun of Star Wars. Who else made lightsabers as much a part of their like series identity as Star Wars did? No fucking franchise has done that except Gundam. There is no franchise that has made the beam saber, the lightsaber, whatever, as much a concurrent part of its franchise and world building as Gundam has. It doesn't show up in every Gundam series. It doesn't have to. But the fact of the matter stands. Like, it is still like a thing that like the people who deserve to make a Star Wars series should be the people who've most consistently shown it appraisal. Like, yeah, it makes sense that Gainax got to. I'm not saying Gainax. It makes sense that Trigger got to make a like Star Wars Visions thing because Trigger has a very close connection to in history to what's it called? To Gainax, and Gainax got its start literally making a. Does No More Heroes count even though it's a parody? No More Heroes is a video game, right? No More Heroes is a video game, and also it doesn't count because it's a parody. Because like I said, the only place that has I'm talking about that take it seriously, right? Ties and manipulator arms, yeah. It's important to Travis as an otaku. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it's the and also that that's kind like I think NMH is just Suda being Suda low. I could be wrong. Yeah, like No More Heroes is just like that. A lightsaber being in No More Heroes, right? Let me actually put this into perspective for you. A lightsaber being in Gundam is the fact that the Gundams have to fight melee fights, and in the future, most blaster fire doesn't necessarily take from a certain distance. So it's best to, or if you run out of energy, it's best to just use a beam saber. In No More Heroes, the beginning and ending of it is, oh my god, he's a nerd, look at his lightsaber. That's quite literally the joke. It's quite literally the entirety of the reason why there is a lightsaber in the series. That's why the reason why there's a lightsaber in No More Heroes as opposed to in Gundam, because there's two different reasons. In Gundam, it's because there's a world building actual it's treated as seriously as Star Wars treats its lightsabers. In No More Heroes, it's, oh look at this nerd, he likes nerd stuff. Isn't that funny? You know, are you catching me now? See, that's the difference there. Oh my gosh. What's it called? Animators did it because it was critiquing media and the hero now the modern scholar. Exactly. It was essentially like he just looks raw. LMAO. Like yeah. Beam weapons OP literally changed the game. You can see the terror. Yeah, actually, notice how, and it's to the point where Gundam's also one of the only places that does it self-consciously as its own thing. How can I put this? Even when Xemnas stretched out them fucking laser hands of his, you knew who Nomura was fucking thinking of. It didn't even like you can use a shadow of a doubt to be like, okay, the beam sabers in Gundam are their own thing. Like, they got inspired by Star Wars, but they're their own thing. But, like, you can't look at Kingdom Hearts and say the same. No. Xemnas is using hand lightsabers because he's a Sith. I'm doing all right, Mr. Stephen Wings. Yeah, beam weapons OP literally changed the game. You could see the terror. Yeah, like that. Like there was a story reason for the beam weapons being a thing. There was a narrative aspect to it, you know? Oh my gosh, lols on this. Well, I'm about to start winding down. So the last points I'm gonna make are gonna be on like a little bit more future of anime stuff, because I know I discussed the two opposing sides, the boutique and the old school. Like, you got boutique anime coming in and you got like old school anime. Like, I don't know if I want to call it old school. I think I just want to call it regular anime, boutique anime, and regular shows, like just normal anime, like just good old fashioned anime, right? Like good old fashioned. You know, you back in my day, we looked at the goddamn, see, we didn't even have any chart. We had to type in fall 2018 into goddamn Google, and then we had to sift through 15 different and trash looking fucking anime charts from 4chan, and we had to look for shows that way. That's how that's how people got their shows back in the day. Yeah, Mark Hamill was in Kingdom Hearts. The 13 Shadows of Darkness is Weeaboo Knights of Ren. Kill me. Oh my gosh, yeah. It really is just Weeaboo Knights of Ren, except they didn't get their pack smoked that easily. Let's keep it a buck. The Knights of Ren got fucking wrecked off screen, brother. We don't even know what their faces look like. Bro, who cares? Knights of Ren are dickheads. But 13 Darknesses, bad men. Easily. Bad men. The lot of them. Also, I'm going to say something, because I just saw this. And I just want to shit on my anime list for a little bit. Can you indulge me? I'm sorry. All of you people are fucking garbage taste. The anime you like suck. The fact that this, like, one of the best shows this season is got a 6 out of 10. I get it. Y'all don't know history. Y'all don't. Let's look at the reviews. If the thematic is samurai and it is not Gintama, it will probably suck. So stay away, please. Okay. This guy's a dickhead. Oh my god. I just realized, like, is this too much for me? First of all, talk about every single is drawn by 5. Way too many colors. What the fuck? This guy has got, like, who is this dude, bro? This has to be a troll. The Buchigiri is not the show. Man. Yo. I haven't looked at my anime list reviews in a long time, right? And now that I have, for the first time in, like, I think what's probably been an unbroken 6 years of me not doing so, wow. I'm just going to close the page. I'm just going to close all the pages. In fact, I'm just going to stop sharing my screen. And I think I'm going to start doing my AKAs. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been your host, Nino, aka Cure, aka the Kumalashi Machine, aka the Hot Take Intellectual, aka the Young Gigadrill, the Nigerian Dundar. Toku Ganja, Miyamoto Too Flashy, Toy Traffic, not the band, man. I don't pay for my Netflix, I got people for that. Oh my gosh. Fucking hell. I can't even. I just really looked at that, bro. And I'm like, I can't be angry. I can't even begin to be angry because, like, I know they were probably like 12 years old. I know they were probably like 12 years old. I know they were probably like, oh my god. Oh my god. Wow. Bruh. Oh my god. Anyway. Charles Spasnable blinking on that kid from too many places to count. Oh my god. Mr. Black and Platinum. Oh my fucking jeez. I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your very late night. I hope all of you get to bed. Oh my god. Yeah, they just want more AOT and I say, oh, I fucking hate I'm yo, Jesus. Oh my fucking. Because he said if the thematic, number one, wrong use of the word, is samurai and it is not Gintama, it will probably. Do you know how racist that is? Oh my fucking god! Wait, no, cause sayonara, minasan. Fucking hell. Woo! I did not know that people thought like that. I didn't know that people really thought like that. I didn't know that existed. I didn't know that existed. I didn't know that still existed. I can't even outro right. Cause I'm still I can't even outro right because I'm still thinking about that, bro. Like, wow. Fucking hell. Anyway, yeah, I think that's it, innit? Sayonara, minasan. Thanks for bro. Yeah, I mean, I knew they were racist, but like, fucking hell. It's not that they're racist. Cause before I do the sayonara, minasan and just really shut down, but like, it's not that they were racist. It's that they junked the entire Jidaigeki genre in such a fell swoop. And the wild thing is they're talking about my favorite genre. And I can't just be like, they're wrong. Because, I mean, obviously they're patently... obviously they're patently wrong. But, like, that's like... Say, bro, like, I don't even like Vikings. I can't go as far as to say if it's Vikings, it would suck. Because then I would have to admit, then I would have to like sit here and be like, I'd have to lie to you and say I don't like Vinland Saga. I hate Vikings. I think Vikings suck. I think Vikings are garbage. I think Vikings are the worst like military subculture that has ever existed in history. Like not particularly because I don't like what they did. I don't care. Samurai used to rape and pillage too, but like they sucked on a like their weapons sucked. They had no finesse. They all looked ugly. Like their women were ugly. Their food sucked. That everything about Vikings was garbage. Everything about them. Like not like the only reason, let me tell you, the only reason you would like Vikings is if for some sad, unfortunate fact you happen to be descended from them. That's the only way you would like Vikings. It's the only way you could like Vikings. See, anyone can like samurai. Samurai are cool. The armor, the swords, the weaponry. Plus, Japanese food is sick. And Japanese culture is sick. And like Japanese history is sick. Like all that stuff is sick. Like even Zulu warriors are fucking sick. Like I would love to be a fucking like the fucking Njembe like the Njembe warrior, like fucking like the guys who used to do Ngolo for the fucking like Angol for the Angolan like kings and queens and shit. Like my nigga, the Janissaries? What? The Turkish Janissaries, my nigga? Put the Vikings to shame. And you want to say that like it being samurai makes it, brother? Anyway, sayonara minasan. Have a good night, y'all. Be safe, y'all. Be blessed. God.